All right, looks like sound is on. And anybody watching, if you can give me a comm check, that would be appreciated. I'm pretty sure I'm okay though. I see a little bar on my OBS doing stuff. So let's go ahead and turn that off. There we go. And there might be about a 10-second delay. It looks like the chat is reasonably active. Let's see what's on the old wire. What do we got? Anything good? I like your hold music. Thank you, Cap6. My hold music is, believe it or not, completely free, and it's something Starfish is the name of the band. SpaceX contracted this band to make the music for all this. The SpaceX launches, and it's completely royalty free. So I've been using it for years. It's pretty cool stuff. I'm trying to figure out what is going on with. I've got a. Okay, looks like things are working. All right, good. I'm not sure why my phone is doing this. I'm on one screen, and it is kind of difficult to do a few things here and there, but we will make it happen. Still need someone to give me a tap in the, or let me know if I'm 5x5 on the sound. It says it's going out, but I have no way of telling if it's actually working unless I do this. Sound, it says it's going out. There we go. Okay, so the sound is good. The sound is good. Okay, so I decided to start on this page. If you're not a YouTube developer, you've probably never seen it before. This is what they call YouTube Studio. And I wanted to let you know we actually did make it to 500. So we will be doing a giveaway. More than likely, I think what it's going to end up being is a reasonably high-end pocket knife. I think every prepper can use a pocket knife. It's going to be completely free. Once I get the giveaway set up, then I'll do a video and let you guys know exactly what, how to enter and what you're going to win and how I'm going to get it to you. But we'll be doing that probably in the next day or so. So, yay us, 500. If you're in the chat, do me a favor and type something out so that I know I'm not actually like talking to thin air. Yeah, let's see here. All right, so lots and lots of stuff going on these days. I'm going to do one more look. Okay, looks good. All right, one more. Lots of stuff going on. So everybody's pretty much worried about everything these days. And I have a list of things that I want to talk about. You know, nothing, I don't think it's anything crazy. But the prices of everything seem to have gone through the roof. And the where are we at here? Consumer price surges higher than expected. Hit 13-year high. Yeah. All right. Joseph, something out. And where are we at here? Drago. Hello there, Drago. I know who you are. I know who you are, Drago. You. And thank you for saying that you're here. What do we got? Something out. Yeah, Joseph is military. All right. Yeah, the prices of things, we all know the prices of things are going through the roof. You know, it's insane. Food prices are getting a little out of control. According to the latest Bureau of Labor Statistics, the annual inflation rate climbed high 5.4% in September, and even higher to 5.3%. 1 month, where we at? This is all way too small. Let's make it bigger for you. Boom. All right, energy costs. That's the one that I'm kind of worried about right now. Gas prices, we are all, where we got here? Drago, loud and clear, thank you. We are all programmed. I want to move this over here. I'm actually using a cell phone so I can see my chat, because where I am, I only have one screen. Gas prices, someone in the group the other day, it was like last week, said gas prices were at a specific price where they were and it basically was up 10 cents. So I went and checked, and sure as hell, mine did the same thing. It went up 10% or 10 cents, and then it's gone up another 10 cents since. So inside of 2 weeks, gas prices have gone up 20 cents here on the East Coast. I'm specifically worried about energy prices as things start to get colder. You know, you've got that whole dark, cold winter thing going on, and it's got to get people just a little bit worried, especially if they don't have fireplaces or a way to keep themselves warm. But energy prices soared by 24.8% over the past 12 months, with all major energy component index spiking on an annual basis. Gasoline increased by 42.1%. Natural gas, that's the one I'm worried about, by 20%. And the electricity index for electricity, wow. Index for electricity rose by 5.2%. This is just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. You know, all I can say is fill your pantries and prepare to live by a fireplace. Where are we at here? We got energy. Food is gone. Food has been one of the primary devices raising soaring. We know that since December 11th. Okay, so the key is inflation still transitory? Yeah, it'll be transitory when it'll be considered transitory when this is all over with in a year. You know, I have nothing positive to say about the winter. I normally don't worry about things, but I'm a little worried about the winter and things that could be happening. And unless you comment or say something down in the comments, I'll have no idea what your thoughts on it, and I'll just move along. Meanwhile, in California, the stupidity continues. California bans small off-road gas engines, including lawnmowers and chainsaws. I wonder how many grass ninjas are going to be completely pissed off that they can't use their weed whackers anymore. And anybody who's ever owned an electric weed whacker knows they aren't worth squat. An electric chainsaw, not bad, but yeah, you're not cutting through a tree with it. You're just going to do some branches here and there. Basically, what Gavin Newsom has done is he is going to force them to retrofit to all electric. A massive change. A small business disaster. The new law is expected to affect nearly 50,000 small businesses. Absolutely insane. 100% insane. He might as well have outlawed air and clean water. Absolutely crazy. And I think the worst part is that this kind of just falls in line with the people who actually handle these devices. If the business doesn't have the money to buy these new electric chainsaws and lawnmowers, then all those employees are going to become jobless. That's a serious problem. So I don't think it's going to work out very well for Gavin. All right, next one. What do we got here? Michael Burry drops red pill in epic Twitter rant. So if you don't know who Michael Burry is, he's the guy who made all the super money. He's basically the star of the movie The Big Short, the story that was based on him and what happened, and the housing crash where he made billions and billions of dollars betting against all the big banks. Well, he pops up every so often and creates a Twitter account and says a bunch of crazy stuff that just like wrecks people's brains. So you basically have one of the smartest guys in the market on the planet pops in and says a bunch of stuff, and it's kind of like if you're old enough to know who E.F. Hutton is, people listen. And he actually put some interesting stuff in here. Because of YouTube's rules, we won't cover all of them. I'll just skew past them. But some of the interesting was the account he called was Cassandra and Michael J. Burry. Top 1%, 20.9% of income, 40.1% of taxes. Bottom 90% paid just 28.6% of taxes. The top 1% tax rate is 7 times higher than rate paid by the bottom 50%. Biden tells rich to pay like everybody else does. So, a tax cut for the rich or a class warfare built on lies? Wow. Talk about some infamous words being dropped there. Where are we at here? Trump never said that we're not going to do that one. Trump never said any racist stuff. Okay, whatever. We're not. This a lot of this is COVID stuff, and we're going to just browse past that. All right, the last one. Let's go, Brandon. Is funny and on point, but misinformation and persecution targeting conservatives now permeates society from K through college and into the workforce. Media, big tech, intelligence agencies, DOJ, IRS are all complicit. This is dead serious and no laughing matter. He's absolutely right. He's really absolutely right. You know, we all like, let's go, Brandon. We all know what it means, and it is funny as hell. Because honestly, everybody is just tired of the bull. You've got, you know, it's to the point now where these people are literally just breaking the law and then getting caught and nothing happened to them. You know, it's like yesterday, Press Secretary Psaki, somebody asked her a question about the gubernatorial race in Virginia, and she said that they would use every bit of. She basically said they would use the government to try and sway the results so a Democrat could stay in power as the governor of Virginia. The problem is that's against the law. That's against a federal law. That's the Hatch Act. And so now, obviously, they're going to very quietly try to walk that back. You know, it's always about that Friday, Bad News Friday. But they're literally just doing this stuff anytime they want to now. All right, still no one in the chat. Super duper. What do we got here? Woo, more empty cargo ships, empty Christmas stockings. Don't blame COVID, blame California. The conventional wisdom for the left is that COVID is the reason that shipping containers are in the waters off California, with no stevedores or truckers available to take care of them. The implication, of course, is that, let me zoom that in for you guys. Boom, boom. All right. The implication, of course, is that if people would stop being selfish and take the vaccine, the whole problem would magically vanish. I think we'll just stop there. Let's skim this so we don't break any YouTube regulations here. All right, what do we got here? Twitter reminds us that carriers domiciled in California with trucks older than 2011 model or using engines manufactured before 2010 will need to meet the board's new truck and bus regulation beginning in 2020. Otherwise, their vehicles will be blocked from registration with the state's DMV. They're literally cutting their own throats. They're just regulating themselves out of existence. Now, I've told you before, my son's a trucker, and he won't go anywhere near California because they have so many rules and regulations on these trucks. You can't get into the state legally unless you have just unbelievable. I can't even put words to it. It's so stupid. But it's really difficult to do any business as a trucker in the state of California. And that's, well, it's like Elon Musk moving out of California. I think today also the Secretary of Transportation, he ran his suck. And apparently he's been on vacation for the past 2 months while all this stuff has been going on. Where are we at here? Drago, bold to say that publicly. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. I think that we're at a point now where people are starting to get thoroughly pissed that, well, actually, I think Drago was talking about Psaki, but I'm not sure. Either way, people are just pissed. These people, they have a mentality of doubling down on everything. And when that blows up in their face, they just keep running their sucks. They just keep doing it anyway. Their honest belief is that if they tell a lie 1,000 times, it will somehow become truth. And we've got to the point now where we're beyond that. You know, you've got, you guys should probably know that I pay a lot of attention to things that happen on social media. Yeah, I don't let it drive my day, but I pay a lot of attention to the different things that are happening in the world on social media instead of watching TV, because there's a lot of real information that you can digest and learn from, you know? Let's go, Brandon. I love it. Love it, Drago. And then I get to decide what I want to understand or think about or do research on or compare to, versus just being fed to us, you know. Honestly, that's how the whole Brandon thing started up. You know, you could clearly hear what they were saying in the crowd, but no, they're going, "Let's go, Brandon." Yeah, no, that's not what's happening. That's not going to work. A very feeble attempt. But anyway, I digress. These people will just keep going and going and going and going until somebody or something stops them. And let's face it, America is not what it used to be. We are a nation of sheep, and they all know it. The worst part is that these people, they're not even wolves. They don't even have teeth. I don't know what they are, but they're the kind of people that when you pull their punk card, they disappear into the background, waiting for the next smart, good-looking guy, really clean and articulate, to show up, and then they can get in behind him, and then those slimy little dirtbags can just start to do this all over again. And I hate to say it, but we just can't let them do it anymore. We cannot let them do it anymore. It is so bad that we're 8 months into a presidency, and a week ago the guy had a 38% rate of acceptance of you're doing a good job. 38% of the nation believed this guy was doing a good job. That's a problem. Anytime it gets below 50, people scream bloody murder. So that means that people on the left have decided they don't like him anymore, have decided that he is screwing up royally. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen it before. His numbers have been going back up. I'm going to try and do this. Like I said, I am in a very odd location with one computer and very limited space. But I'm going to see, we're going to start there. If you just go Rasmussen Presidential Daily Poll, or something like that. Daily poll tracking, Rasmussen reports. Okay, so where are we at here? Rasmussen Daily, and this is from Friday, so obviously they don't work on weekends. The Rasmussen reports daily presidential tracking poll for Friday shows that 43% of likely U.S. voters approve of President Biden's job performance. 56% disapprove. The latest figures include 22% who strongly approve of Joe Biden is doing, and 46% who strongly disapprove. So there's not even a balance there. 46%. I'm going to move the camera just a little bit here because I kind of got a little. I'm really going to screw this up. I feel it. I can feel it already. 46% strongly disagree with what he's doing. And then here's what they do is they actually put him up against Trump. And you could see just by the bar graphs how badly. Strongly disapprove. Bam. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. So I don't know what these people think they're doing. I don't know what they think they're accomplishing, but literally 8 of their the cabinet are in positions where they're under heavy scrutiny, and it's insane. It's insane. I mean, it's like I literally am out of words for how stupid our president is, how stupid the presidency is now, how stupid his cabinet is. These people are dangerous. They're extremely, extremely dangerous. But, okay, so where are we at here? I'm going to stick with Michael Burr. But anyway, so Michael Burr creates his Twitter account. He says a bunch of stuff that blows people's minds, and then he disappears. So we can expect more. And he has posted more stuff in the past, just in the last month, that basically say, yeah, if you're not paying attention to the economy, you're stupid. If you're not putting things aside, you're going to have a bad day. So we might want to listen to this guy. All right, so the next one, where are we at here? What's the next one I want to talk about? This one's kind of a big subject. You guys keep hearing about this dark winter, and I'm not going to go too deep into it, but there's another layer of it that a lot of people don't know about. Now, within the Department of Defense or within the government service itself, they're constantly paying for studies to figure things out. We want to spitball. We want a concept, an idea, and they'll spend millions of dollars trying to figure this stuff out. So Operation Dark Winter, it was a real thing. It's not fictitious. Yes, it did happen June for 3 days in 2001. And its objective was actually pretty simple. Dark Winter was focused on evaluating the inadequacies of a national emergency response during the use of biological weapons against the American populace. It's that simple. Nothing more, nothing less. Because the military has been preparing for biological warfare for years. First it was NBC, then it was CBRN, and now I think it's something else. But they literally just keep renaming the situation or the defense or the activity or the unit, because they're all the same name, by the way. And trying to figure out what would happen. And the general idea between these types of tabletop, they call them tabletops because they don't actually use troops. They just talk about it. They say, here's the situation. And then they start to make adjustments and plans as if something was going to happen in their field. And then they compile all that information, and then they create these points, they create these learning points so that they can make decisions about how to fix. It's like they identify holes in the cheese so that they can fix the cheese is basically what it comes down to. But a lot of people don't know is that because of this particular tabletop exercise held by all facets, and there's actually a pretty interesting list of people that they used: National Director of the CIA, Secretary of Defense, Chairman Joint Chiefs, Secretary of Health and Human Services, Secretary of State, Attorney General. I mean, all of these people were part of this tabletop exercise to try and determine what would happen, what could happen, and how they could react to it based on the current capabilities. Okay, what do we got here? Prepper of Truth. Hey y'all, how you doing, man? Sorry, I'm actually using here. This is what I have to use. I'm in an undisclosed location, so I have to use this to see the chat, and it's really small. Okay, shut up, phone. Anyway, what do we got here? Sounds like a lot like what's going on right now. Yep. But anyway, so back to Dark Winter. And then obviously the tinfoil hatters, they crank them down as tight as they can and say, oh, this has happened. This is how they were preparing for it. Well, I'm here to tell you right now, that's a complete fallacy. There is no connection between Joe Biden trying to use a word he didn't understand, like winter or dark, and Operation Dark Winter. Now, here's why, okay? So one of the things that came from this is they figured out they were screwed. They didn't know what they were doing. There was nothing set up whatsoever to figure these things out. So they took that information and they went off with it, and they sent it off to the planners, and they said, fix this situation, solve it for me, and then we're going to try this again. So what they did was they did exactly that. And they came up with something called Event 201, a global pandemic exercise. Okay? And they invited, because as usual, these smart, super smart people, oh my God, couldn't figure it out. So what do? They go, well, we need to go to industry because industry will come up with solutions that we never thought of before. And honestly, they're absolutely right. I was a DoD contractor for 13 years for multiple. If I wasn't getting shot at, I was helping somebody build some kind of piece of technology. So this is exactly how they come up with these smart ideas. But anyway, they go off to industry. And what do we got here? Public-private cooperation of pandemic preparedness and response. Wow, that's like, say that 7 times. Let's see here. So they came up with different things. Government, international organizations, business should plan now for how essential corporate capabilities will be utilized during a large-scale pandemic. Okay, sounds great. What else? Industry, national governments, international organizations should work together to enhance international held stockpiles of medical countermeasures to enable rapid and equitable distribution during a severe pandemic. Okay, this is a great recommendation. Countries, international organizations, and global transportation companies should work together to maintain travel and trade during severe pandemics. Travel and trade are essential to global economy as well as to national and even local economies, and they should be maintained even in the face of a pandemic. Sounds super. Governments should provide more resources and support for the development and surge manufacturing of vaccines, therapeutics, diagnostics that will be needed during a severe pandemic. Absolutely right. Global business, I'm going to just stop there. I'm going to stop there, guys. Because these were all recommendations that they're like, this is what our findings were. You should do this. Okay, so let's go with number 1. Governments, international organizations, and businesses should plan now for essential corporate capabilities will be utilized during a large-scale pandemic. None of this ever happened. None of it. 0. You remember? Here it comes. Oh, look what's happening in Europe. Oh, Italy. Everyone's dying. Put on your full body suits. None of it ever happened. Industry, national governments and international organizations should work together to enhance international held stockpiles of medical countermeasures. Masks. Remember that? Ooh, so who had all the masks? Oh, we couldn't find any masks. Yeah. Stockpiles, huh? It didn't happen. Countries, international organizations, and global transportation companies should work together to maintain travel and trade during severe pandemics. Travel and trade are essential to the global economy as well as the national and even local economies, and they should be maintained even in the face of pandemic. Oh, no, what do? Shut everything down. Lock everything down. Never happened, guys. Never happened. Completely waste of time and money. Government should provide more resources and support for the development and surge manufacturing of vaccines, therapeutics, and diagnostics. Never happened. Oh, Orange Man Bad had to enact a law that hadn't been used since the 1940s to make these people do this stuff. Global business should recognize economic burden. Didn't happen. You know what? Oh, shipping containers. Nothing's moving. Yeah, none of this stuff happened, guys. Absolutely none of it. You can look it all up if you want to. I mean, it literally goes. It's all published. It's all on the internet. This isn't tinfoil hat stuff. You guys know that I don't do that crap. You can download the entire thing and read it for yourself. None of it happened. They didn't take any of those recommendations and act on them in any way, shape, or form. Okay, well, no one seems to be caring about that one, so let's move on to some more fun stuff. Oh, I have been laughing about this all week long. So, if you didn't know, 10,000 John Deere workers walked off the job in a strike over a labor contract. So, I'll make this easy for you. Let's go here, this one. Okay? Most Deere workers reject contract offer from tractor maker. So, basically, the United Auto Workers, or who is the union shop that works within John Deere, and they've been negotiating with John Deere for several weeks, but basically the workers at John Deere want more. They think that they're not getting enough, and so they're like, we're going to strike. And the United UAW said, we support you. We've got your back. We'll bring our negotiators in, and they negotiated for 2 weeks straight after or before the strike happened. And they got a 5% pay raise for specific workers. They got a 6% pay raise for other workers. And I think they got them some bonuses. Took it back to the workers, and allegedly 90% of the workers said no. So if you do a little digging, you'll find out that you can start working as just the lowest guy on the rung at John Deere for $38,000 a year before taxes. Now, that's not a lot of money, okay? It's about $21 an hour. What? A guy who turns bolts gets paid more than the guy who works at McDonald's? Okay, seems legit. The average worker there makes over $62,000 a year. Their 401k packages for all employees matched by the company are the top in the industry. Their medical is about average. There's some complaints about their medical insurance or health insurance that they say that it's not that great, but it's basically 3 stars out of 5 because they want people to, the age brackets that they pay in, they don't think they're right. Work environment, super. Every single comment about work environment at Glassdoor.com, if you've never seen it, you might want to go check out your company if you work for one. Say that top-notch, great work environment. People are caring. They flexible work hours, full-time, part-time. I mean, it's just all around a good company to work for. And this is the kind of crap that the workers pull because they think that there's so many jobs out there, and there's lots of jobs out there, that they can just use that as leverage. Well, I got news for you. It's not going to work, and here's why. So as soon as they struck, the next day, they had temporary workers in the factory working. Now, there's a couple of them out. There's a couple of these people out there that actually work for if you dig deep enough, they actually work for the United Auto Workers Union, and they're basically just Twitter trolls is what they are. They're paid trolls, and they're bringing up that they had a safety incident the next day when they brought the scab workers on and wrecking a tractor inside of the factory. In fact, all the tractor did was hit a beam. And the joke is that the tractor was actually on its way to a repair shop. So, no harm, no foul. Nobody was injured, anything like that. But what these people are not going to understand until it's too late is the same problem. I'm going to call it a problem. I'd call it an issue. It's the same issue that we're seeing now that no one's paying attention to. The next time you go to McDonald's or Burger King or any place where they had to have $15 an hour and they could possibly be replaced by a kiosk, talk to them. Talk to that person. See if they speak English. I pulled into a McDonald's yesterday in a tiny little town that I know is just like everybody knows everybody. And I used the app to order, and I parked in my little spot and told them what spot I was in. And about 5 minutes later, this very nice little lady comes. She was older too, easily 50 years old. She comes out. She hands me my drink. She hands me my bag. She smiles at me, and she goes, "Check." And I'm like, "Excuse me?" "Check." And she points to the bag, which tells me that was the only English word she knew. So I looked in the bag, I gave her the thumbs up, and she goes, "Thank you," and then she walked off. So immigrants, we're gonna call them immigrants, and I see somebody tapped in chat. Give me a second here. Immigrants are taking, when everybody had to have a $15 an hour job, those same jobs, because people are sitting around on their ass, because over 30% of working age males are sitting on their ass and not even looking for a job right now. The people who are taking those jobs that they had to have aren't even from this country. They don't even speak English. So the same thing is going to happen at John Deere, because I tell you what, you could talk smack about the Mexicans all day long, but they're some hard-working people. And if they've got the opportunity to succeed at the John Deere company, they're going to take your job. And it's not going to be like a bad episode of South Park. They're going to take your job. Because if you're not going to do it, they will do it. That's the story of their lives. They do everything that us stupid consuming Americans don't want to do. They mow our lawns, they wash our cars, they pick our food, because they're doing every job that we don't want to do. And we just created a $15 to $20 an hour hole in our employment system, and they're going to fill it. I'm going to take a look at the chat. Oh, where are we at here? Supposedly to be a big walkout on Monday, several major industries. Very true, very true. And parents keeping kids out of school. Yeah, we're going to talk about the school. That school thing has pissed me off, about that school in Virginia. That the chickens are coming home to roost on that one. And we're not, don't let me forget about, Drago, don't let me forget about that one. That is one I want to talk about, because the dots are getting connected. The dots are getting connected. Hell with it. What do we got here? Big walkout on Monday? Yeah. Well, the other thing too, today, all the big airlines have been, I'm not going to go too far on this, but basically there's an airline, Delta Airline, basically said, yeah, no, there's no mandate. And that's as far as we'll leave it. I have a feeling I'll be doing a video very similar to this on Rumble, because there's a lot of things I want to talk about on Rumble that happened this week, and it's just absolutely insane. This whole mandate thing, it's not legal. It's not the law. There is no directive. There is no regulation. There is no rule. There is no nothing that says that you have to do this stuff. So we're going to stop right there, just so we can keep the channel clean. Walkouts, big time. Yeah, we did kind of get a setback there with the nurses, that nurses union up north, but it'll happen. I'm sorry, I was tapping the mic there. I'm a little agitated by this whole situation. But yeah, so, and it's not on the screen. Let's bring it up here. If you just type Loudoun County. You type Loudoun County, that's what pops up. Let me check my screen, make sure it's actually coming. I don't know why my screen is doing this weird stuff on this phone. I don't get it. Pause. No pause. I mean, I guess it's working. I'm getting the chat. Anyway, so if you type that, that's what comes up. Loudoun County School Board resigns amid controversy. So back in late May, there was this gentleman, was it Stephen Scott or Scott Smith? Well, his daughter got raped in school. And he went to the school, he said, what the hell's happening? And apparently no one called the police. this is as the story was relayed to me. No one called the police. And where are we at? Legalize, must English, may. Hey, we've been talking about speak American. We've been talking about that kind of stuff for years. And yes, they have to learn. If they want to live and work and honestly make more money, they're going to need to learn better English. And those people, those immigrants that do that, they do earn more money, and they do get better, and they do become part of the community. Because if they don't communicate, then they just isolate themselves. So yeah, I'm a proponent of must speak English. But anyway, back to Loudoun County. So this is very convoluted. So if I start in the beginning and we go to the end, hopefully you'll understand it because it's going to loop back around. So May 28th, the school board has a meet. There's a school board meeting, okay, and most of it is about transgender acceptance within the school and how they want to rewrite some of the rules so that it's easier for transgenders to act and be who they are, okay? So listen, if you're a guy who was born in a girl's body, or you're a girl and you were born in a guy's body, completely accept it. I mean, in the mind, it's not about what's between your legs, it's about what's between your ears, okay? So let's just get that out straight, okay? So basically what happened was, prior to that school board meeting, this man's daughter was sexually assaulted. One second. Sorry, I was yelling at my dog. She's not supposed to drink past a certain time, otherwise she has problems. She's a rescue. She has some problems. Anyway, so the guy. So prior to this meeting, his daughter gets sexually assaulted in a bathroom sometime between the end of school and like the time that they go to do athletics or whatever, something like that. They say it didn't happen during official school hours. He gets to school. He gets called. He goes to the school. He gets there. They say, this is what happened, and we're going to take care of it. Well, I have not heard any part where it says that they called the police. And that's a serious problem that's going to come back here in a minute. Where are we at here? Hold on a second. I'd like to try and respond to you guys. Nathan, sorry, I was saying that in legalese, the language of the law, when they say must. Oh, yeah, I got you, bro. Okay. Must. Big difference between must and may. Yeah, I'm tracking. But anyway, so he goes to the school board meeting, and they're having all this tippity-tack talk amongst, like, he said there were like 10 different people stood up to talk. And he didn't even plan on talking. He just wanted to see what it was all about. And they're all talking about how it's going to be great for the transgender people to use the bathroom and be accepted and all these other different things. And the school board actually said that they had no knowledge of anything ever happening. So they literally all sat there and lied. They even referenced a 2006 CNN poll that said that kind of thing doesn't happen anymore. Is my sound on, guys? Let me check here. Hold on. Test. Yeah, okay. So that's going on. And basically, so at that point, he's like, wait a minute, I need to ask a question. So he's getting ready to go talk, and one of the students' parents starts yelling at him and starts yelling at his wife, and he's like, calm down. And the next thing you know, the sheriffs are on top of this guy. They take him down. There's video all over the internet of it. They take his ass to jail. He spends 10 days in jail. And I think he got a fine, but after that, it was suspended because they basically said stay out of trouble. So in the period of time that he was in jail, this I don't know what I'm going to say, a boy who likes to wear skirts did it again. And apparently he did it while he was wearing an ankle bracelet. That's interesting. An electronic ankle bracelet. So, almost 12 days later, they finally snatch the kid up. The sheriff finally snatches the kid up because they have DNA evidence proving that he did it. And now they're still using sexual assault instead of rape. And now somehow this guy is the poster boy for domestic terrorism by the FBI. You keep hearing about especially in the last week, how they want to weaponize the FBI to investigate parents that are showing up at these school boards pissed off. And that's exactly why. The whole thing is staged. The whole FBI thing is all staged, but they're using him as their poster boy for domestic terrorism. So 3 days ago, this lady here, she decides she's going to resign, and she made her resignation effective November 3rd. And people are like, no, you got to go. And prior to that, there was a group of parents that had already petitioned the court to ensure that it was legal to oust this person because she's an elected official. And the judge actually said, yes, you may do that. So yesterday, she decides she might have a problem because they may have broken the law. And when I say they, I mean all of the members of the board. But she's the ringleader. She's the one who got them all to go along. And I don't know the details of that particularly, but what I can tell you is what's been reported. And what's been reported is that the Loudoun County prosecutor has been removed from any case that has to do with this for conflict of interest, and that a special prosecutor is going to be identified. That means that criminal charges are coming. And as of about 4 or 5 o'clock today, I believe it is, on a weekend, the president of the school board, or board of trustees, I believe it is, has come out and said that we're really sorry, but we may have screwed up. And then now she's resigning on Facebook and saying how hard of a decision it was. No, she's trying to distance herself. No, she's likely going to go down. She's probably going to go down as a conspirator, I'm going to guess, and it's just a guess, but I'm going to guess that the principal, whichever vice principal was involved, the person that the girl reported the incident to, possibly the sheriff of the county himself, may be looking at criminal charges. Because it's really difficult to gather DNA information or conduct a 12-day investigation when no one called you. It's all very interesting, but I am just speculating since I don't even live in the county. But it pisses me off because in the end, the father who was just there to ask questions was assaulted by 3 deputies and basically hauled away on the order of the woman that you see on the screen. Sounds a little tyrannous, doesn't it? Tyranny? That's what it sounds like. And now he's vilified because the leader of the gang had to come out and say, we may have fucked up. It's all quite sickening. Okay, let's find something else better to talk about. But John Deere's a joke. Anyway, so I got this for you. I thought you guys would like this. I'm going to mute my mic real quick, and I'm going to turn this on. The whole school board needs to resign effective immediately. Absolutely true. The problem with that, Drago, is that if they all resign, they all look guilty. So basically what's happened is the ringleader, who's not even the president of the board or whatever, whatever he's called. But she's the activist in the group. She's the one who allowed all this to happen. She's the one who said during a few different board meetings that none of this happened. This was all a big fat lie. She's the one who knew it. So, and oddly enough, here's one funny thing too. I saw a picture today of her in a, what do they call it? She was participating in an activist group that has to do with schools. Not within her position, like wearing the suit and tie, but like with a t-shirt, that says whatever the activism was. So I think she's in a lot of trouble. I really, really do. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to check. I want you guys to check this out because I think you might find it interesting.
First, want to kick things off in the back half of today's show with a look at
Don't worry about the football stuff. They jump right past it.
Update we got there on the labor front showing that claims did dip to the lowest level here that we've seen in the pandemic since March 2020. For more on that, though, I want to bring on Yahoo Finance's Emily McCormick to walk us through the numbers. Emily?
Well, Zach, as you mentioned, we saw jobless claims improving more than expected, coming in below the psychologically important 300,000 level for the first time since the start of the pandemic in March 2020. Now, specifically, we saw initial unemployment claims for the week ended October 9th coming in at 293,000. Consensus economists were looking for 320,000, and this was also a drop from the 329,000 that we saw during the prior week. Now, claims had averaged around 220,000 per week throughout 2019. So if we think about where claims are right now on a historical basis, we are inching still closer to those pre-pandemic levels. Now, last week's new jobless claims also helped bring down the 4-week moving average for initial filings. Of course, that does help smooth out the volatility in the weekly data. And we saw that metric come in at just under 335,000 to represent a decrease of nearly 11,000 from.
The reason why I brought that video to you guys was because we keep hearing about how on the political side about how they're creating jobs and they're building back better and the economy is booming but what initial jobless claims, if you don't know what the term initial jobless claims mean, it means people who have filed for unemployment for the very first time. So there's just no way they're saying that they're creating all these jobs because they're not creating jobs, they're creating unemployment. So I wanted you guys to see that, and that was a little boring, but it's an interesting little tidbit. It's an interesting little fact. What we got here? Rejected, contract offer. I have too many tabs open right now. What do we got here? This one's interesting.
The US is suffering from a critical shortage of workers
from Australia,
country, despite businesses being desperate to hire. Just 194,000 Americans found work last month. That's well short of the 500,000 anticipated by the Biden administration. Our Washington correspondent Annalise Nielsen reports from Iowa.
This is now a familiar sight in towns and cities across America. Help wanted signs posted by businesses who can't find workers. Even drive-through burger joints like this one are offering $12 an hour plus a $200 sign-on bonus, well above Iowa's state minimum wage of $7.50.
We have went through other times where money was more difficult and that kind of stuff, but we always were able to hire employees and keep our employees.
David has owned the Armadillo Antique Mall in Des Moines since 1992. He has 6 stores across Iowa, Omaha, Nebraska, Missouri, and Arizona. And he says he's never found it this hard to find staff in every single store at the same time.
We have a lot of difficulties trying to get people just to come in for the interviews. Sometimes if we schedule 3 interviews in a day, maybe only one of them show up, and sometimes not even one shows up.
And this is a problem across the country. 4.3 million Americans quit their jobs in August, about 2.9% of the national workforce. With 10 million jobs open, workers can afford to be choosy.
We usually do 1 merit raise per year for our employees. This year we've done 3 non-merit raises, in other words, raised all the way across the board, everybody, including our starting wages. And our wages are up about 24% on the hourly wages so far this year.
Over in Jefferson, about an hour out of Des Moines, unemployment peaked at 10% last April. The casino was forced to shut down early in the pandemic, but since it reopened, profits have gone up as much as 30%. Despite all the extra business, the casino can't find workers.
Less than half our people came back. When we closed, we were over 200. When we reopened, we were under 90.
And that's despite the casino paying some of the best wages in the area.
Part of it's by state mandate. They want the casinos to pay more than the minimum wage, so we do pay 25% better than that. But most of the people that work here are making 50 to 100% above minimum wage.
In the meantime, they've had to automate games like craps, so gamblers can continue to play the game without a dealer. Income support payments as well as rental assistance has stopped across the country, but employers say they're not seeing any more job applications since then. They say people aren't coming back to work because they don't have access to childcare, or they're worried about contracting COVID-19 and passing it on to vulnerable family members.
We have certain shifts that are good for mothers that have children in school or in daycare. And right now that's a little bit more difficult because they don't find the daycare and they can't come to work. So we've lost that segment.
The jobs figures for last month were less than half the 500,000 jobs the Biden administration hoped to add. Hopes the economy would quickly correct itself following the pandemic are fading.
I think there's going to be a new normal. I mean, I just don't think that we're going to go back to that the way it was.
Annalise Nielsen, Sky News, Des Moines, Iowa.
Oh, it's so ugly. It is absolutely so ugly. What do we got here? We looked at that. That's Rasmussen. That's enough of that crazy broad. Let's try something different here. People they tend to like when I do this. I don't know why. It kind of blows my mind. But what do we got here? Prepper. What do we got when we type in Prepper? Let's make sure the camera's doing what it's supposed to be doing since I've moved. Prepper, survivalism. What are you prepping for? We know what that crap is. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. You know what? Let's hit the old Twittersphere and see what we got going on here. All right. Gas prices are freaking insane. How much are you paying? $4.29 here. My God. Prepping the truth. Someone knows who that is. $3.07 last night. That's cheaper than where I am. Right now, it's $3.19. Love it. All right. What do we got here? Look closer. Disturbing Studio 54 photos. I think we're just going to stop right there. What do we got here? We got the Prepper bot. Prepping the Truth replies. Beautiful stove. I do love that. I would love to get one of those, like those super old school stoves that you can burn wood in. Kind of heat the kitchen, maybe even the house. What else we got down here? Gained in my paw, passed away. Oh, someone's dog died. No. Haven't gained an angel this morning. My paw. Oh, I see someone's grandpa just passed away. That sucks. Where are we at here? Joe Biden. It's time to build an economy that works for working families, an economy where people from every race, background, and religion can get ahead. Oh, no. All right, what do we got here? Man arrested for allegedly raping a woman on commuter train in Philadelphia as other passengers watched. Yeah, it's pretty sickening. What do we got here? Doomsday Homesteader, 3.09, East Tennessee. Dude, I wish it was 309. I wish it was 309 here. I'm watching the prices of gas go through the roof. I'm honestly worried about the energy crisis. I'm really worried about the energy crisis. The people have been trying for a long time. If you just talk about electricity, people have been trying for a long time to get rid of my dog just tried to get into a chair that she will not fit into. Here, let me see. That's the crazy dog right there. That's my crazy dog. She just tried to get in that chair. Anyway, people have been trying for years to get rid of nuclear power. And here in the United States, we've been shutting down nuclear power plants for years. So we've basically mastered the neutron. And when something goes wrong, yes, granted, something goes wrong very badly. For those of you that don't know, we had our own Chernobyl here in the United States. It was 3 Mile Island. And it actually brought on a lot of nuclear regulatory type stuff. But we've been trying to shut down nuclear power plants for years. And the reality is that the technology is better, and there's no reason why we don't have nuclear power plants. It's clean energy. And when I say clean, there's no smoke plumes that come out of a nuclear power plant. Steam, yes. Smoke, no. So the tree huggers really don't have a leg to stand on other than, occasionally we have a fish with three eyes, but we don't eat those fish anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm really worried about the electricity. The cost of electricity has already started to go up. Normally anywhere from 90 during a good month and 150 to 200 during a super hot or super cold month. And we're already seeing $20, $30 added to each bill each month. We're getting ready to move into the winter. We have a gas heater or natural or propane. Is it natural gas? Natural gas heater. And that is normally about close to $100 every 2 weeks last winter. And it's going to get worse. They're saying 30%, a 30% increase. So I'm a little worried about that. I hope everybody's ready. I hope everybody is doing something to make things better for themselves, God is the nucleus. 5 Virgins Prepper. Love it, man. Love it. Welcome to the channel. I've never seen your name before. I've never seen Doomsday Homesteader either, and I appreciate that. I like seeing new people. I'm a huge believer in discourse. Regardless of your background, your beliefs, it doesn't matter to me. Just as long as we can have an adult conversation about something, that's what's really important. I wish my chat was a little bit bigger for the people that just showed up. I'm in the middle of nowhere, so I'm using my other phone, my camera phone, for my chat bot. Yeah, I'm concerned about the energy crisis that is here already. It's not It's not something that's coming. It's dum dum dum. No, it's here already. But we're not feeling it because what we're doing is we're feeling the temperature being turned up incrementally with food, with gas, with heating oil, or natural gas, gasoline for your car. We're seeing all of those things getting turned up incrementally, little by little by little by little. So we don't see what's actually happening just yet. I tell people, tell your friends, because I can sit around worrying about it all day long. I can make videos till I'm blue in the face. I can live stream and say, start worrying. I can do that all day long and get all serious. It's not going to do me any good because I don't have your friends. You have your friends. But I can tell my friends, dude, you need to start putting, 6 cans at Walmart. You need to start looking at food that they sell at the Dollar Tree. You need to start doing that. You need to start buying some stuff at the Dollar Tree before it's the Dollar Plus Tree. And believe it, that's the new name. They just haven't put it on the buildings yet. Someone popped into the chat. What do we got here? Last winter in South Carolina was the warmest in 20 years. Yes, you're absolutely right. And, I'm a little confused because I've been wanting to do a video. That's actually kind of positive. Thank you, 5 Virgins Prepper. I'm just going to call you 5, man. That's a lot of words. Woman, man, dude, Cat Stokes. Yeah, it's like, so I think the Farmer's Almanac has talked about it being a colder winter. I think that there's some other channels out there that do nothing but weather, and they're saying, hey, we had a snowstorm in the Midwest or the northern Midwest in May, and they're talking about it being a cold, wet winter. But then they show some of the satellite imagery, the thermographic satellite imagery of Canada and the northern portions of Canada, that this time of the year should be much colder than they are, and they're quite warm. I'm not saying that the poles are melting. That's not even close to it. But what I am saying is that there's conflicting information. You've got one group of people that are these actual professionals saying it's going to be a cold, wet winter. And then you've got another set of people that are actual professionals saying, look at our satellite imagery. It's freaking warm. So hopefully it's not too damn cold this year. But winter's winter either way, following the rules of 3 hours in an austere environment without protection from the elements, and you're dead. Will that happen? I hope not. I hope you have lots and lots of blankets. I hope that the cold is not apocalyptic in nature. And I hope that everybody who thinks the worst in the world are 100% wrong. But I think that's also why we prep too, because we can't depend on these other people to tell us how great or bad it's going to be. We just have to be prepared for it. We have to think about it in advance. We have to do more than that stupid study about, Event 201, where they did absolutely nothing afterwards. By the way, during that event exercise, that tabletop exercise, they quit after, I think it was 2 days. No, it wasn't even that, I don't think. Because they realized that they were looking at 61 million deaths, then they had no way of controlling it. They realized there's no reason to keep going with this exercise because we've already failed. But anyway, so hopefully we're not putting ourselves in that position. Like I tell people, all you have to do is just buy 6 extra cans every time you go grocery shopping. Doesn't matter. Just do it. Just buy 6 extra cans. At the minimum, you're looking at anywhere from 65 cents a can to $1.50 a can. It basically comes out to $1 a can. Do it. 6 cans every time you go out. And next thing you know, you'll have food in your pantry. Start someplace, How do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. And hopefully people will be doing things like that. What do we got here? I'm sorry, it's so small. Dude, but 5 is fine. With an excessive volcano ash, we may all freeze. Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. That is a distinct possibility. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been watching the rest of the world, but there's been a lot of volcanic activity along the equator, and they've got there's actually a guy on YouTube that he's like an island prepper. He's not like Tahitian or anything like that, but he's showing pictures and videos, and the sky is just gray. You know, it's a sunny day, but everything is dark and gray because they have to wear masks everywhere because the air is so thick. I mean, it's a possibility. You know, we saw that when Mount St. Helens went off. You know, that whole region, they were routing planes, and I remember I was in Germany when they had that volcano in Europe go off about 6 or 7 years ago, and basically everything in the air got shut down because the jet planes couldn't fly through it. So, yeah, it's not catastrophe, but it is something to think about. It is something to think about. What do we got here? Bushcrafter. Yeah. I've hesitated to do any bushcrafting things on my channel because I don't mind going down that route, but the video production value is very high. What does that mean? Lots of setups, lots of cutscenes, lots of multiple cameras, and instead of being able to do, one, possibly 2 videos a day, just to do it, just to get the information out, just to talk to you guys or share something with you, or interact with you, you end up turning into like this video producer, developer, screenwriter, writing scripts and setting up specific scenes, and you could spend all day long just filming, there's no more film, that's funny, recording it, and then spend the next day hours on end editing it just to upload it. So I try to stay away from anything that's difficult to do like that. I mean, if you saw what was on my table, like just to make this happen right here, I've got a camera, I've got a phone, I've got my laptop, I've got my mouse, I've got my microphone, my other phone. Then there's the backdrop, which is actually crap. I'm just trying to cover something up so it looks halfway decent back there. So it's a lot of work, actually. But if you like doing it, you like doing it, So what do we got? What's 5 saying? And the ash was rain caused acid rain. Very true. Very true. It's unfortunately what happens when a volcano explodes. I joined the military from Hawaii. I spent a good chunk of my life in Hawaii. I am not Hawaiian, but I can tell you where all the cool spots are. Matter of fact, I don't even have the decline left in me, if you know what that is. But, yeah, I know a little bit about volcanoes. All right. Well, let's see. What time is it? So we've been going at this for an hour and 13 minutes. Is there anything that you guys... I've got the chat fired up so that if, there's almost no delay when you type something. So is there anything that you guys would like to discuss? Because I pretty much have all night. I'm drinking this... I got this at the old dollar store, and ice with caffeine. Not only do I have hydration, I refresh myself, but I refuel myself with caffeine and no calories. Oh, I feel so dainty. The chat is not moving like this or like this. I'm going to wait for the paragraphs. I'm going to type a paragraph. All right, so I guess I'm going to check my notifications while I'm waiting for that to happen. Oh, yeah. Oh, Prepper the Truth liked my tweet. I love you too, man. What do we got here? It's all falling apart. Yeah, this is something else I wanted to talk about today. So, believe it or not, Twitter is actually an excellent tool for engagement in determining when the left is falling apart. And here's why. Because they start to eat their own. They start to show their true colors. They start to show us how crazy they are. So if you didn't know, like I said, Delta Airlines ditched the divisive vaccine mandates, and they basically said, "Oh, no, we're not doing that. That's stupid." And so, what is this? Oh, okay, that's just Prepping the Truth, trying to promote himself. Cool. But this all came from, where we got here? Did it go to like? Yeah, it did. As it gets harder and harder for these crazy people to say things that they know are not true. And it's becoming very clear with all of worldwide, the protests against these mandates, they're getting bigger. Last week, the French said, "Please stop doing this. We've cut off our leaders' heads before." People they're tired of this. They're tired of this. I follow a guy, and I can't show you on here. Like I said, I'm going to have to go to Rumble at some point. But look for somebody called I Am. Let me see if I can find him real quick. At I Am. Let's see if... there he is. There we go. I Am. I'm going to click on it, and we'll see what he's going to say. You need to follow this guy. If you are on Twitter, and I know a lot of people aren't because it's like the whole, I don't want to get tracked. There's a drone up there. Tighten the tinfoil. But this guy follows the statistics. And what he'll do is, I'm gonna roll up on just a little one right here. I'm not even going to do that. Let's do this one. 87% of everyone over 12 in the UK is at least partially vaccinated, yet cases continue to rise and are well above where they were last year. You do the math. And he is IENSC. You know what? Right there. I'm going to help you guys. Just to do it. This screen's going to get a little wonky. That's not what I wanted. I want that one, and I'm going to go that one there, and man is flesh and liars. Apparently this thing is, my chat bot has been not letting things through. I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes it thinks that you're trying to do crazy stuff when you're not. Okay, so find that guy on Twitter, okay? And just follow him if you're on Twitter, and it's amazing the stuff that he's finding, and it's just data is all it is, but it's all completely truthful. And all the stuff that he's showing actually comes from like the CDC, the World Health Organization. These people are on there. It's like they're stupid. They're trying to perpetuate a lie, but then publishing the truth. And that's as far as I'm going to go on that. Let's hit this button and see what we got here. All right, survivalist tips. 308 ACP, powerful enough for hunting? Any bullet is powerful enough for hunting. Come on. No, we don't want a Google career. What do we got here? Alert! China tested a nuclear-capable hypersonic missile that circled the globe before aiming towards its target, demonstrating an advanced space capability that stunned U.S. intelligence. One out of people familiar with the test told FT, "We had no idea they did this." That's bonk. They actually performed this test last month. It was a success. It did not go around the world, but it did prove its hypersonic capabilities. And yes, it does pretty much say if they want to hit us with a nuclear weapon, they can probably, from launch to impact, which used to be 30 minutes, it's probably now closer to 10. So it doesn't really matter. Stop buying bunkers. All right, Sanjay Gupta isn't smart. Did you guys hear about this? This is insane. If you haven't heard about this, basically Joe Rogan is pissed off because CNN said you're taking horse stuff. And So if you don't know who Sanjay Gupta is, he is CNN's chief medical officer. It's his job. So he had him on his show for 3 hours, and he beat him relentlessly. And he made him admit that it was really stupid for CNN to say that. Yeah, I think he's got a good case for libel, but don't think he's going to do anything. He just wants to hold it over their head. All right, what do we got here? That looks kind of yummy. Cool Whip. Oh, the onion's awesome. Report. Mom has planned for tub of whipped cream in fridge. That's the kind of shit I'm dealing with on a daily basis. What do we got here? Nope. What do we got here? Oh yeah. If you're offended by the Chappelle special, I guess this family-friendly alternative. If you guys didn't know, Dave Chappelle did a new special. It's on Netflix right now. It's 100% awesome. But it's literally, they explain it as him coming out, and this is not what he did. I've seen the show. They explained it as him literally coming out with a biology book and going, men have this and women have this, and then closing the book and walking off stage. Apparently he got attacked by the transgender community after his last special, the special before this last one, and just got attacked. And so basically this one he came out and just told them how screwed up they are, and now they're not happy. Recommend you see the show. It really is good. No, I don't have stock in Netflix. It's just a good show. What's this? What do we got here? Young Americans, mic drop. Calamity awaits for those who persist in pursuing imperial delusions. Okay. Don't expect foreign policy experts to be held accountable. Yeah, doesn't matter. That's Elon Musk stuff. Oh, that should be interesting. What's this? Let's turn the sound on.
Refaire peuple de tout bois, c'est-à-dire réfléchir ensemble avec la richesse de toutes nos différences. Donc, il faut arrêter cette multipolarisation.
Yep, that stuff is happening. What do we got here? Anything good? It doesn't have a picture. I'm a little confused. Oh, that's insane. This is the level of stupidity. We got to play this.
Changes will make outlaw motorcycle gangs would no longer be allowed to wear club colours, gather in public or even have visible tattoos under strict new bikie laws. The changes will make WA legislation the strictest of its kind in the country.
Busting down doors,
Get on the ground now!
disrupting the 1% determined to live outside the law.
We're coming for the bikies. These people aren't a social club, they are criminals.
Using legislation designed to let police harass bikies, soon all outlaw logos will be banned in public places, as will gang gatherings.
It's time to get out of the gang or get out of Western Australia.
You can't wear your vests. You can't hang out together. You can't punch on in the middle of Scarborough Precinct in the middle of the day in front of families.
Anti-insignia laws will also apply to public social media pages and visible tattoos, meaning it'll have a daily impact on notorious figures like Troy McCanty.
He's going to have to wear Michael Jackson's glove too, isn't he? Because he's got 1% on his hand.
And senior Hells Angels member Dane Brakovich.
And if they're on parts of their body which clothing apparel will not cover, then they'll have to find some other way to cover it, either makeup, foundation cream perhaps.
The new laws were introduced to Parliament today. They name 46 specific groups and have the flexibility to be implemented against others should a gang try to change its name. Wearing a patch in public will land bikies behind bars for 12 months. Unlawful consorting could see them locked up for 5 years.
We don't want people in our community having fights in public, shooting their guns in public. It's not the place, it's not the state, it's time to leave.
The legislation could be in place by Christmas. Nathan Brooks for 10 News First.
Outlaw motor.
So, did you catch that? Shooting their guns in public? I thought there weren't any guns in Australia. I thought they got them all up already. Huh. Very interesting. What do we got here? Multiple people have been shot. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the hell? 20 hours ago? Someone has a gun. Including one victim with life-threatening injuries. Large number of emergency services have been called. Shooter is unknown. Great. That's all right. That's enough of that. That's just bad people doing bad things, man. Gas prices are freaking insane. How much are you paying? $4.29 here. Oh my God. All right, looks like we've come full circle. We've come. Oh, stop calling me the Twilight guy. Oh shit. The Let's Go Brandon song skyrockets to #1 spot on iTunes hip-hop chart. No way. No way. All right, here we go. I hope it's not too bad. Official music.
Let's go, Brandon. Hey. Let's go, Brandon. Hey. Let's go. Let's go. Hey. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. You know what they saying, ho? Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. You know what they saying, ho? Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. You know what they saying, ho? Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Hey, you know what they saying, ho? Hey, you know what they saying, though? Hey, you know what they, yeah, you know what they, yeah, hey, and I say it with a passion, as I pull off in the Aston, don't nobody like his ass, huh, tried to cover up and tell the people go Brandon, but we know what they saying, though, you can hear the chant in every post, don't nobody want this commie cause we not in China, everybody hated Trump and now they out to catch a body, that's what they get for treating us like we in Squid Games, green light mandate like he's insane, these times people waking up to everything, go Brandon, but we all know what the saying mean. Let's go Brandon, let's go Brandon, you know what they saying, ho? Let's go Brandon, let's go Brandon, you know what they saying, ho? Let's go Brandon, let's go Brandon, you know what they saying, ho? Let's go Brandon, let's go Brandon, hey, you know what they saying, ho? Hey, you know what they saying, though? Hey, you know what they, yeah, you know what they, yeah.
I was hoping there were a few more lyrics than that, but I think we get the gist of it. It's actually kind of funny. I'm going to save that page and send that to somebody. Oh boy. Fun, 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 fun. What do we got here? People wonder how SpaceX will fund the Mars colony. Who will pay for it? 1 million people travel to Mars at $200,000 each. That's $200 billion. Add $800 billion for supplies and equipment. Total of $1 trillion. Did you know today officially Elon Musk is richer than Bill Gates and Warren Buffett combined? Yeah. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. You gotta follow the old Elon Musk. What else we got here? Anything? Twitter is running out of stuff for us to look at. Okay, well, let's see. No one's talking. Is there anybody in the chat? Let's see. Oh, that's not what I want. I want to see that one. What do we got? Oh, it looks like we got 5 people watching. Okay. Well, listen. Hey, give me a subject. Let's talk about something here. You can't depend on me to entertain you 100% of the time. Talk to me, Goose. Talk to me. Because Twitter is not helping me out, and I don't want to go to Facebook. Nobody likes Facebook. Let's type news. Let's see what it tries to throw as. Democrats weigh carbon tax after Manchin rejects key climate provision. If you guys haven't heard about Joe Manchin, They tried to cause problems with Joe Manchin in West Virginia today. Blew up in their face. They basically got the Secretary of Transportation to try to blame something on Manchin. And Manchin basically said, buddy, you don't know anything about West Virginia. You don't get to talk about West Virginia. You don't even get to think about West Virginia. And I'm not going to change my mind just because you wrote an ad. No, it wasn't the Secretary of Transportation. It was the socialist, Bernie Sanders. He did an op-ed in one of the prominent West Virginia newspapers. Yeah, blew up in his face. He basically said, socialists, get out of here. What do we got here? Biden pays tribute to fallen police officers, tells families that your loss is America's loss. Yeah, and then there was a damn assassination of, I think, 2 police officers in Texas today, on this day, the day of remembering the people who wore the blue uniforms and fell in the line of duty. Isn't that special? All right, what the hell? I'm not a fan of Fox, but let's see what they've got. Speech, not terrorism. Members of federal civil rights panel blast Attorney General for having FBI address school board threats. Yeah, we talked about this before. And then there's also this guy, apparently his son has got something to do with, I can't remember exactly what it is. You tell me. But yeah, he's culpable. What else we got going on here? We were not gonna stop. Air traffic disrupted by major airport after plane's mechanical. Yeah, we don't care. Proud parents, no one cares. Music to their ears. Viral rally cry for Biden critics rockets social media to top of iTunes chart. That's what we were just talking about. That. That is too funny. Anybody heard anything about Bill Clinton? I know he had, sepsis. And is in the hospital. He's going to remain in the hospital another night, receiving antibiotics. Okay, so we never want to wish anybody death, that's for sure. But, the guy clearly is not the most fabulous human being. What do we got here? Bill Clinton, spokesman, gives update on former president's condition. Women raped on train. We talked about that. Hillary arrives at hospital finally. Democrat leader reveals when House is looking to vote on infrastructure. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with this infrastructure bill. I honestly don't, guys. But I think that we've got to a point. Unfortunately, we will get tomorrow. We will get what tomorrow? 5. Tomorrow's Sunday. We will get 5 virgins prepper, so you better be in church. Tomorrow's Sunday. That's what you better be getting tomorrow. What are you getting tomorrow? Talk to me. Or is that unless every single person on earth is vaccinated? That I have to. Politics. Treasury official warns that unless every single person on earth is vaccinated, inflation will not stop. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, that we have to look at. All right, what do we got here? Only way is 100% global vaccination. And while they are intrinsically connected, they're not dependent on each other in any way, shape, or form. Top Treasury official this week claimed that the recent surge in inflation is part of an economy in transition. Yeah, I get scared when I hear things like that because do you guys listen to Economic Ninja? I hope so. Oh, okay. He gets out of the hospital tomorrow. Yeah, cool. But the guy's pretty smart. If you don't follow him on YouTube, then you really should. I would say you really should. Not because I follow him, but because he's really down to earth. How do I explain it? He's just a solid guy. And he's talking about how basically the plan is to get to digital currency, and that it's basically happening, whether we like it or not. And we all know that once that happens, I mean, unless it's like true digital, almost blockchain type currency, and they're clearly two completely different things, but then our lives can be completely controlled at that point, and that's a problem. That's a pretty serious problem. Screw it. Hold on. Oh, look, Localprepper. This Localprepper guy. He's live. He's live right now. Look at that. Well, let's go to Economic Ninja. I want to show you guys something. It's getting worse. 1970s. Blah blah blah. It's starting. Yeah, by the way, you hear about that? The Royal Mint, the UK Royal Mint has ran out of silver blanks. Finance Minister declares, oh, this will blow your mind. If you don't follow this guy, this will blow your mind. I'm going to mute my microphone.
Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I have an absolutely huge story when it comes to the devaluation of the US dollar and how I am again helping you and are wanting to share with you to put the puzzle pieces together, showing you that the dollar is dying right now in front of our eyes, that we are losing the control, worldwide control of the petrodollar. And I'm going to give you some historical perspective after I go over this information of what happened. This exact same thing happened 50 years ago, okay, and how it's going to affect you. So here we go. French finance minister issues declaration of independence from the United States. All right, now this is big, and I guarantee you this is not going to be picked up in a lot of news stories. I guess unless you know videos like this start trending, and then we all of a sudden see it in the mainstream media. So this is absolutely huge. All right. It says clear differences remain between France and the U.S., French minister says, is the headline to a remarkable piece appearing in the New York Times this week. It says right here, French minister Bruno Le Maire is, if I got that right, is brutally frank on the nature of the differences as the quotations below illustrate. In fact, they amount to a declaration of independence of France and the EU from the United States. Now, I'm just going to hit a couple points, and then we're going to talk about what happened 50 years ago. All right, let's see here. My high tech. It says, here's a quote. The United States wants to confront China. The European Union wants to engage China. Le Maire, a close ally of the President Emmanuel Macron of France, said in a wide-ranging interview ahead of the IMF meetings. All right, and I'm going to try and touch, if I can remember, I'm going to touch on what's going on, the battle between the IMF and the Federal Reserve too, when it comes to cryptocurrencies. All right. He says Europe's strategic priority, by contrast, is independence. Then he goes on to say, let's see here, which means to be able to build more capacities on defense to defend its own view on the fight against climate change, to defend its own economic interest. All right, we're going to stop there. And then we're going to bring up a tweet that came out from ORF Online. The fallout between France and Australia, U.S. states has created awkwardness in the Indo-Pacific. Australia will need to bridge the trust deficit that's joining the Australia, these tweets, the way they put them together, has created with the European allies. All right, we're going to talk about history. Exactly 50 years ago, almost to the week. It was happened about 6 weeks ago, plus 50 years. France had figured out that the U.S. was out of control with its spending money. It had been destroying the Bretton Woods Agreement. And what they did, in a nutshell, is they started cashing in because during Bretton Woods, the bonds, U.S. bonds were, or paper, U.S. paper was redeemable in gold. So they started redeeming in gold, and they had no trust for the U.S. financial system. It was getting so bad to where President Nixon was forced to close the gold window, okay? And that actually set us on a completely unbacked currency, which you see from history. That happened in 1971. Approximately 9 years later, we were in an amazing inflationary environment where we had a fuel crisis going on, interest rates were rising. They actually topped out massively because of Paul Volcker spiking them, which he was deemed a hero. But you have to realize that wasn't a hero move, okay? Because on the backside, real estate also collapsed. They don't ever talk about that, right? When you double interest rates on mortgages, it really, really stops real estate sales and causes them to reverse. But the point is that France was completely untrusting of the system, of the U.S. financial system. And now we are here again. I brought you the story as it was just breaking about the tweet that came out from Saudi Arabia saying that they had inked in a deal with Russia for military equipment protection, all that kind of stuff. At the same time, Russia was inking a deal with Nigeria, right? And I said that is it. That is the start of the destroying of the petrodollar, okay? Now you've had multiple countries coming out now and saying we're going to start doing business with other countries outside of the dollar. Now today you have the French finance minister straight up saying, we do not, I'm paraphrasing, we do not trust the U.S. and we want to break free. We want independence. Now, the ECB has talked about this before. We're going to talk about a little cryptocurrency history. And what you're seeing right now, if you're not familiar with what's going on in the cryptocurrency world, there's a company named Ripple that has been working on a blockchain called XRP for a long time. And they've been perfecting it. They've been building contracts with not only central banks to be able to use the XRP blockchain to move actual central bank digital currencies. That's a whole different topic. It's not a blockchain. It's a currency, a digital currency. And I'm sorry, I don't want people's eyes rolling in the back of their heads.
Okay, so yeah, he's starting to get a little deeper than I wanted to go. Looks like five Virgin Preppers. U.S. dollar is worth like 35 cents. No, it's much more than that. But I totally understand the sentiment. You know, I remember when the dollar was. I remember when $1 was 25 pesos in the Philippines. So basically, the $1 was worth $25 in the Philippines. That's spending power, and that's great. That's great for Americans, and it's awful for whatever country is lower. But it's all been reversed, and with the petrodollar. The American dollar, if you don't know the story of the petrodollar, you probably need to do a little research, but everybody wants to move away from it now. And a lot of countries are signing on to this new pact so that they don't have to use the U.S. dollar to trade oil. Well, so that means the U.S. dollar loses strength internationally. And because our currency is based on a fiat idea of faith, not actual value like a standard like gold or silver, platinum, whatever it may be, then when people lose faith in a fiat currency, that currency loses value, and that also causes inflation. And that's one of the problems that we're having that nobody's talking about. So, let's see. What do we got? We're going to have a notification on Twitter. What do we got here? Anything good? Anything? Give me something good. Tiny Home. Prepping the Truth is still putting stuff out like crazy. They make pretty good. It's Storm of Truth, Prepping the Truth. They're the same channel, by the way, guys. I don't know why you... Anyway, to each their own. To each their own. What do we got? Tim Young. Listen, I'm no expert, but if I ran a streaming service and over 1,000 employees threatened to walk out, oh yeah, yeah. So what this guy's talking about is, so a transgender person who works for Netflix tried to organize a 1,000-person walkout of Netflix in protest of Dave Chappelle's show. So let me see if I get this straight. Someone who works for me decided to use my assets to try to get the people that I've hired to walk out of my business and hurt me. You're fired. That's it. Bye-bye. And that's exactly what happened. Okay. We're done with that, and that stays. And let's see if we can find any more crazy get hot bombshell girlfriend after successful spate launch. Nobody cares. Battleground state charges several with attempted voter fraud. That's good. That's good. What the hell is this? Country to probe actions of unarmed police after bow and arrow massacre. What in the holy hell? We're going to just close that. Close that. And close that. What? Norway to investigate tactics of unarmed police officers after 5 die in a bow and arrow attack. All right, just stop. Just stop that. Just stop that. Oh. I can't even read this. It's so stupid. Bow and arrow massacre. That's insane. Yeah, this guy could actually be our next president. He could actually do it. Because he's pretty much turned Florida into its own country. Russian thrusters accidentally tilt. That's old. That's like months old. Oh, did you know William Shatner actually went to space? Yeah, it was pretty funny, actually. All right. Well, it looks like we're running out of stuff to talk about. I was hoping to be able to do a 3-hour stream, but you guys don't want to talk, and I'm running out of stuff to talk about, so I can only jab along so long. All I can say is thanks for watching, and until the next time, stay safe and have a great day. Now I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to push that button right there, and I'm going to go